Allow me to beg your indulgence for one moment. This is former WWE superstar Damian Sandow, now known as Aaron Stevens, and you are watching RCW Spotlight, Rubber City Wrestling, a real pro wrestling show, not that flippy stuff.
Hello and welcome to another edition of RCW Spotlight. I am your host, your role model Ric Lieb. And with me as always, he is the Don of professional wrestling. He is the king of the Battle Royal. And of course, he's the champ. He's your RCW Global TV champion, Mr. Frankie and Ric.
Champion of television.
I was going to compliment you on 5 weeks in a row.
Well
5?
stocked.
I'd keep a count.
Yeah, we're well stocked. I'll keep a count too. I'll hit you with that bill later.
But I can't help but notice the shirt. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't had that shirt. First of all, rolemodel.atem.com doesn't even exist anymore. Can you believe the power? I actually said that 2 weeks ago on Global against Chaz. I love it.
Yeah.
I still use that every once in a while because even I can't believe how powerful I am.
Right. 15 years ago was the last time?
15 years ago.
Yeah. Remember when we met?
Yeah.
And you were like, merch table's over there, kid.
Oh no, don't do this to me again.
I still went.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm kidding you. I got it at the thrift store.
Oh, dude, I'm now mad. Okay, no.
Why would I go buy full price when I could wait a little bit?
No.
At the thrift store? What?
All right, he bought it off of me. You're a lie now.
No.
My clothes don't get put in a thrift store.
They don't. They listen. They fly right off the racks.
Maybe a fan died. Why else would they get rid of my shirt? But no, because that would be passed on for
Fan was
generations.
buried in this. That's how important it was.
Right, exactly. You went, you
Just-
grave digger. That's what you are.
Great band, by the way. I guess they're not a band. Great group. Grave Diggers.
I'm just.
You don't know who the Grave Diggers are?
Why do I?
Offshoot of the Wu-Tang Clan?
Oh!
Thank you.
You're right. I do know. I do know. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, thrift store.
No.
$1.99.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the first story you told me.
It was the last one where I dug up I was
Now-
looking for, you guys, like, people bury people with so many valuable things.
4 henchmen.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in
Wow. You're going to be in the 4 henchmen?
Yeah.
The 4 henchmen is no longer.
What?
Because we have found the way.
Why don't we get henchmen back?
Why would we bring back that? The whole purpose of us doing the 4 henchmen was to kind of make people think, oh man, they're a bunch of marks for the 4 horsemen. You know, to
What
me,
if-
it was to
right.
get cheap heat.
Picture this.
And they liked it. Fans liked it.
Frankie and Ric and the 4 henchmen.
It's not a Motown group, man. That doesn't sound like you know.
Sing it real nice, man.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I like that one.
Just relax.
Maybe we'll get Hollywood from Glow on the show one day.
Yeah.
And we can have you two team up and call it Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Well.
Wait a minute, that doesn't sound like it would be a regular
my
wrestling.
lady would like that. Song.
Yeah. It doesn't sound right. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep that one off of the off of it for a while.
Besides, if she was around me, she'd move here. She'd be like
Right.
infatuated with me. It'd be a whole thing.
She's like, I gotta leave the Hollywood life because
Yeah, and I'll be like, listen, chick, I got a lady. See ya. Take the trash on the way to the curb.
right. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what is what about today?
Today, listen. Today,
50th show.
50.
50.
50.
Can you believe we've been doing this for 50 years. Amazing. I can't believe it.
You know,
You know how many generations
after-
of fans have been watching us?
last week Spike said
Yeah.
you were a little bit punch drunk and you don't remember.
Spike said that?
Yeah, I would never say that about you.
Why would he say I was punchy?
I don't know.
Is this because of the hitting thing?
I think
Which
so.
I did not know about
You
both
claimed
times.
you didn't. Yeah, both times. There you go. There you go. Yeah. You get amnesia when we have guests on the show.
Yeah,
Cracks me up.
they get ridiculous trying to
Yeah.
call me out. And like, if I had any idea that there were repercussions to my actions, I wouldn't do most of the things I do.
Sure.
It's a real issue.
Anyway, today, no guest, but we have a really interesting topic that we're going to go ahead and talk about. So we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break right now, but when we come back, we're going to tell you exactly what that's about. See you in 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Hey guys, I'm Mike,
And I'm Brent.
and we are the hosts of the Swingin' a Tribe podcast, and we're part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Yeah, we're really just a couple of fans who love Cleveland Indians baseball. So if you love the Tribe, please give us a listen. You can find us anywhere that podcasts are available. Mike, tell us where they can find us on social media.
On Facebook, you can find us at a Swingin' a Tribe MLB podcast, and on Twitter at Swingin' a Tribe. Go Tribe!
Studio Wrestling is back. RCW, Rubber City Wrestling, is now RCW Global. RCW Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the RCW Network on YouTube.
Welcome back to RCW Spotlight. Frankie, this topic was actually brought up by you. It was something we wanted to actually talk about last week, but we ran out of time, and honestly, with the new format, we just didn't have a chance. So we're going to go ahead and do it this week. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you. Please speak up.
I'm going to do my best. If they could listen louder, it'd be a lot easier
Right?
for me. If we could get maybe Tony T to send some boom mics, that would be nice.
That would be awesome.
But basically, it's their problem. So, all right. So the topic I really find interesting is Andrew Yang has taken to Twitter and sort of I won't say declared war, but he's brought up a very interesting point that against WWE.
Now, who's Andrew Yang?
So Andrew Yang was a 2020 presidential candidate, but now it looks like he's basically trying. He's in with Biden and Kamala.
Yeah, so
Kamala. Yeah, but he's looking at trying to get on the with the labor.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, but so he's a politician. Essentially, he's a politician, and he's been a wrestling fan for his whole life. And when the story broke about WWE telling all their guys no more Twitch, no more Cameo
Yeah.
videos. That's a pretty hefty income. And now with house shows being down and gone altogether, these guys are looking for ways to compensate their money.
Exactly.
And they're being told that even if you go with your shoot name, you can't do it. That's still technically under the control of WWE. And so he came out and he said, that's been going on for decades. He doesn't find it to be fair, and it's not. Honestly.
No, it really isn't.
If you're telling somebody what they can do, what they can't do, how they have to act, if you're treating them like an employee, but you're not giving them the benefits of an employee, that's the issue. For those who don't know, WWE considers their wrestlers to be independent contractors, and that's so they don't have to give them health benefits, they don't have to give them retirement, they don't have to give them really anything. Shut up!
I saw the bat come out, and I'm like, I thought you were coming after
No,
me. Now,
no.
what'd I do?
Horrible lady upstairs is still there.
Made me flinch.
Yeah, turns out she had unemployment. She had a job at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
She got fired for having a baby on the clock.
What's a Dollar Tree?
Seriously, it's right next to the Goodwill. So much money saved.
What's a Goodwill?
Okay. No. Anyway, so going back to the topic, it's really good that we have somebody. I mean, he's higher up there as far as politicians go, and he's taken an interest in this. And well, here I'll go over some of the things that he has said. So where do we start here? I'd say we'll start right here. There's a negative vibe from WWE about the way talent is being treated, and you can tell that it has nothing to do with the bottom line anymore. The McMahons have made so much money. They've made money to where they're investing in football leagues. If you're a wrestler breaking your back and the WWE is like, oh, we can't afford you, you're fired. Well, you probably could afford me if you could lose tens of millions of dollars in the XFL debacle. Fair point, actually. The affordability argument does not apply to WWE the way it applies to every other firm. If you look at AEW, I have a feeling that their economics are real. WWE does not have those constraints anymore because it's a public company. If your company is worth $3.3 billion and you're mistreating workers, that's just a shame. Really shameful. There's a point in the distant past where you could have made a legitimate argument based upon cost, but now you can't. It's just plain greedy. So, basically, so he is a supporting presidential candidate for Joe Biden.
I don't get into politics.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I won't be voting for either Democrat or Republican.
So, I will add this next part. It says, will I forget about this? Hell no, he said. Vince and the gang, they thrive because mainstream press won't do anything because it's wrestling. The wrestlers don't say a damn thing because they know it will come back on them like a ton of bricks. So let's keep exploiting people and make our millions, and we'll get away with it for decades and decades. The bill is coming due, and I'm going to be the person who does it, or the person who is there when it's done, and it's going to give me great pleasure because the people know. So, what are your thoughts on that?
All right. First of all, that's kind of what Jesse Ventura got in trouble for when he was in the WWF at the time, because he tried to make a union. He tried to get everybody together and form a union. Someone snitched on him, Hulk Hogan. And when that happened, you know, he was let go. But all he wanted was health benefits and medical benefits and a policy in order so that if something were to happen, his family would get paid. And Vince didn't like that because they're independent contractors. But yes, Vince wants to own your name. Vince wants to own everything. I actually agree with what this man's saying. I wish he was an independent because I won't, you know, I don't. Yeah. I'm not a fan of voting. I'm not a fan of, you know, either the, as Jesse would call them, the Democrats or the Bloodlickens. Right. You know, I'm not a fan of either gang. But what this guy's saying, it actually makes perfect sense, and it's something I can get behind. He'd be a great candidate for Jesse Ventura's vice president in 2024. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So it is interesting because, you know, there's guys that here in the past few years, you know, they've gotten rid of Steve Lombardi, Brooklyn Brawler,
right,
who was there for years and years and years. Some referees that were there for years and years and years. They recently got rid of Gerald Briscoe.
Just last week.
They got rid of.
Good Lord.
It's just horrible. They got rid of Mike Rotundo. These are guys that were there for years. Arn Anderson. Now, yeah, they can always try to go somewhere else, but if they would have spent all that time working, and well, I guess let me take some of that back. Those guys were probably employees. So those guys, when they left, they might have been able to, you know, have the things that they need, the benefits. They might have had, you know, retirement, things like that. But let's say you're, I don't know what he's going by now, but Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Who was there for years.
Yeah.
And made the money he made, and then was let go. He didn't invest into a 401k through WWE. He didn't have, you know, the health benefits. Now I know that they will take care of, you know, some of these guys as they get injured, or at least send them to certain doctors if they cover the bill, those kind of things. But then they tack the time on. You know, you look at the situation. Yeah,
you haven't evicted her yet?
No, she bought a werewolf. Now I'm afraid to go up there.
I hear that. Yeah.
I'm afraid to go up there.
It is. Now the dog and the werewolf.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So anyway, the idea that these guys can put all this time into a company and then leave and have nothing really to show for it other than what they made. If they get hurt on the job, they have to make that time up, but they're not letting them do other things to compensate. Like I said, for no house shows, their money is being affected.
And especially with the COVID-19,
Yeah.
where they're not doing these live events anymore, these people are hurting, and that's why they came up with these pages, like you said earlier.
So let me just devil's advocate this. Do you think that their argument of you're somebody because we put you on TV every week, or you're well known because we have you play this character, or you're able to go off and make this money because of what we do for you is a good enough argument?
No, absolutely not. These people are the ones risking their health, their lives, their bodies for this company, and they should have. If you think you own them, then you should definitely. I agree with this guy. I hate agreeing with the Democrat, but I agree with him because he makes complete sense. Like I said, him and Jesse, man, 2024.
Yeah. So it is. It's I guess the interesting idea though is if you're going to have these guys, even if they don't get injured during a 5-year run or a 10-year run, 5 or 10 years constantly working on the road, even if you don't have any injuries that take you off the board, it takes a toll on your body.
Right.
So, and that should be compensated as well.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to take your questions. So we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Are you looking for a job? I mean, seriously, do you want a job? Then get a hold of ASAP Staffing. ASAP Staffing is located in Barberton, Ohio, 165 2nd Street Northwest. Phone number is 330-203-3106. Would you like to see your commercial aired on both RCW Spotlight and RCW Global? Contact us on social media at facebook.com/Rubber City Wrestling, Instagram at Rubber City Wrestling, or email us at the RCW Network at gmail.com.
Welcome back to RCW Spotlight. Well, it's that time. You've got questions, we've got answers. Now, say you have a question but you didn't know. How am I supposed to get a hold of these guys? How am I supposed to ask my questions like all these other people get to do? That's simple. All you have to do, look down there, contact us at facebook.com/RCW Spotlight and ask your question. And we'll be more than happy to answer them, no matter how dumb they are.
Yeah.
We got some dumb ones today, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Good.
So, Billy Bogardus from Glendale, Arizona. You know something I know about Glendale?
What's that?
It's hot. And actually, even their cold season is hot.
Isn't that awesome?
No.
See, I don't get it. You're from Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I get it. That's like the snow capital of Ohio. Wow.
The snow reaches to Ohio, so yeah.
What'd you put in here? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's like the snow capital of the north.
Yeah.
You know, it more or less is like just, they get hit with lake effect snow worse than anybody.
Yeah. So, okay.
You'd think you'd hate it.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like, Buffalo, right? You don't even need to turn on the weather, right? You don't have to turn. There's a weatherman, but he's gonna be like, it's Buffalo, it's cold.
Right.
What are you turning this on for?
Or just there.
Arizona's gonna be the same thing. What? It's Arizona. It's hot. Wear a tank top or something.
Right.
You know, sun's out, guns out. Ohio is different. You turn on the weather, and you're like, all right, you can see what the weather. And then he's going. I
really don't know. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees this
You know
morning,
what?
but it's snowing tonight.
Remember
Remember that
all
day?
of it, dress in layers. You know.
Do you remember that day? It was actually a couple years ago. It was 80 degrees in the morning and snowed at night. Like, what the hell? I had the air conditioner on in the morning and the heater on at night.
I remember a couple years ago, it was spring and it was sunny, hot, sunny that day, and the sun was still out, and out of nowhere, in rolls a snowstorm, And I'm not kidding. Like I have zero problem driving in bad weather. I'll drive anywhere. Doesn't matter what the snow. That was the worst I've ever driven in. It hit so hard and so fast. The snowplows nowhere to be found. You couldn't distinguish the road from the yards or anything. And that's when I was like, oh, good one, Ohio.
Good one.
Yeah.
Got us. Got him.
Yeah. So anyway, so Billy wants to know. He says, Seven, aka Dustin Rhodes, will always be known as a terrible, scary wrestling character. Well, as a terrible character. Who's the worst in your opinion? Well, first off, Dustin Rhodes was Seven for like 7 minutes, and the scariest part about that gimmick was that could have been his gimmick. So I think what he's asking is will he be known as a terrible, scary wrestler? So who's a terrible, scary wrestler, or what's a scary wrestling character?
All right, first of all, well, I'll go with Willow.
Willow was not. That could have been cool. They gave the vignettes a little thing, and I was like, oh, this might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then it was Jeff Hardy wearing his crappy pants and his silly shirt, and then a cool mask.
Yeah.
There was no difference.
Exactly. You said a terrible, scary.
Yeah. Okay. No, then that
And
was,
so I was expecting it too. I was like, man, this is going to be dope. He's finally reinventing
Yeah.
himself to something I could actually get behind, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go with that route, I was never a fan of the Boogeyman.
Really?
I thought it was ridiculous. It wasn't scary.
Now, he ate worms, so it was gross.
To that point, it's like, buddy, I hope you're getting more money than everybody else, because
Relic.
Relic was
Had potential to be great.
it had potential. The idea that its Relic is killer backwards is cool.
That's what I'm saying.
It was Johnny the Bull playing. I was super psyched, but yeah, it just kind of.
What was the gimmick? Now I'm confused because I can't remember the name. When Dustin Rhodes did kind of like a dark gold dust in TNA, that wasn't Seven, was it? I don't remember Seven.
It was his. He showed up. He came down with the white face and like the Undertaker gimmick, but his face was all pasty white, and he landed.
Oh, I hated that.
And he was, and then he was
That
just
was
like,
in-
"This is a stupid gimmick, and I'm not going to do it." And then he
That was
like,
in
mad at Vince
WCW.
Russo. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
the one he did, and if we're saying something is good, in TNA, and I apologize for forgetting the name of it. It was like Malice, or I don't remember
We
what it
need
was.
Front Row Joe to tell us. He always
I know,
tells
right?
us
Front
stuff.
Row Joe,
figure out.
This one's for you, man. Let
Yeah.
me know the answer to this one.
Joe,
Send me
Joe,
a text.
Yeah,
I
Joe.
gave my number. He's got my number. Me
I
and
gave him-
Joe like this.
That's funny. I gave him your number too when he asked
Right,
for mine.
exactly.
I was like, yeah. here.
So no, but seriously, maybe he'll know what it is. I am completely. I forgot
Why
what it's
doesn't
called.
Joe send us questions? I like Joe.
I just asked him a couple weeks ago, and he goes, "No, I'm good."
Joe.
I'm like, what? He said us one question, but I didn't understand how to word it, so I couldn't do it.
Maybe he has seen the dreaded WAP drop and was like, I wonder if I could get Frankie to WAP drop me. Well, you're well on your way by not asking us questions.
Right.
So.
We need him to ask us the question. From now on, if we have a person that name you don't like, just Front Row Joe. We're going to say that he's asking the question. That way we feel
Front
more
Row
like
Joe. Yeah.
Right.
We'll just be like, so anyone from Tuscaloosa. will
No.
not be
You
Front Row
can't
Joe.
change the Tuscaloosa guys. We love them guys.
Oh, well, we don't. You do. All right. Anyway, it turned out to be a decent question. All right, Billy. Well, the heat didn't fry your brain. You're all right. All right. Larry Fowler from Northport, Alabama.
Pretty sure that was Front Row Joe from Akron, Ohio. But go on.
Front Row Joe from Crackrin. All right.
Actually, I think he's from Norton, but you know what I'm saying.
Is he really?
I believe so.
There's nothing in Norton except speed limits.
Akron it is.
Yeah. So, was Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon one of the worst things of the Attitude Era? What, Larry? What? No, that was like the best thing. That's what got it going, man. That's what made it interesting. It was a new and original storyline. Everybody knew that Stone Cold could just destroy Vince, but he couldn't get to Vince, and it caused intrigue. And then when he got to him, you were like, oh, well, sure, he got to him, but Vince has always got a plan. I mean, it was interesting. It was good stuff.
You had the common man, more or less, in that era, bucking the system.
Yeah.
He's fighting the boss. How could that be a bad story? And the boss is jacked.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you got him over there attacking Eric Bischoff. We actually had a black belt. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even that was what
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, yeah. It wasn't like he was attacking Paul Heyman, who you know ain't going to be able to fight back.
Right.
He was attacking the boss, who is an alpha male. That was a great storyline.
Yeah, I actually, I think I enjoyed that.
And when he attacked him in the bathroom, or I mean, after he broke his leg or something,
Oh, yeah, the
he attacked
hospital.
him, hit him with the bedpan. Hospital,
Yeah.
yeah, I said bathroom.
Yeah.
You hit him with the bedpan? Come
Yeah.
on. That's great stuff. That's great TV right there.
I think so. Yeah, I enjoyed this. Larry, what's your problem with that? I don't get it.
I liked it.
There had to have been something.
Was there a
worse.
question involved in that?
Yeah, he wanted to know if it was the worst thing. I thought it was the best thing.
Yeah, it was definitely not the worst. The worst thing
It's a
was
fair
Ric
question.
Flair being put in a freaking insane asylum.
Well, that was WCW.
It doesn't matter. It's wrestling.
Well, he's saying the Attitude Era, which would.
It was the same era.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So this one is from Lee Claiborne from Alliance, Ohio. Alliance. All right. So Lee says, "What did you think of the Brawl for All? I train fighters at my gym. One of my students fought on UFC. Oh, nice. I thought it was interesting until I watched it from start to finish, and I feel like it was something bad in the Attitude Era." So I don't know if he saw this, but the
Documentary on it.
documentary Dark Side of the Ring
Yeah. Love Dark Side of the Ring.
actually did a whole documentary, which I was surprised they could get a full hour out of it.
I
But
wasn't.
so there was a lot of problems with it because I mean, a lot of levels, a lot of issues to it, because in one instance you're saying this guy who's a mid-carder isn't good enough to wrestle Stone Cold or whoever, because these guys are supposed to be the toughest, but then this guy comes in and knocks everybody out.
Right.
So what's that say about your guys up here? Plus you had all the injuries, everybody got injured, and there was a lot of problems there, and then then there was a lot of argument on whether or not whoever won was supposed to get a shot with a run with Stone Cold, which would have been a lot of money. And then you had the idea that everyone just assumed that Dr. Death was going to win, and when he didn't and got injured, that it pretty much ruined his WWE run. So there were a lot of problems and issues with that. But to even watch it, no, it was kind of cringeworthy.
No, but see, and here's the thing, okay? Me and you're both huge boxing fans.
Yes.
So when they announced this, I was like, yes! This is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to see, a real sport in WWE, because, you got some of that in NWA. You got it. You get it in RCW. You didn't get it in WWE, so I was so excited when they said, we're going to do the Brawl for All. It's going to be, real. And I'm like, yeah. And then I started watching how bad these guys were. It's like, you're seeing these men, and you're thinking to yourself, I would beat him in a fight. And he's twice my size. And, well, don't get me wrong.
There was no technique to any of their fighting, for one. And then nobody understood the rules.
Right. Because
Suddenly you could
you could tackle, and
and
then you
then,
can't
yeah.
tackle, and yeah, exactly. Now, to bring in Butterbean at the end was stupid, unless you wanted to destroy someone's character, which is what I believe they wanted to do.
Yeah.
You're bringing in a guy that's known to knock people out in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And
They should have just made him run with that against other wrestlers and not bring in Butterbean. And,
Right.
and like Bart Gunn even said, the biggest problem he had, and Butterbean even said, I knew I was going to win when I found out Bart was learning how to box instead of just letting him do what he had been doing.
Right. If they were allowing him to still tackle
Yeah.
and still do that kind of stuff, he would have had a chance.
Yeah.
But they purposely took everything out of his game so that he didn't have a chance, and then fired him shortly after.
Right. And it's, for Lee here, if he's training people to fight, he's teaching them techniques, defenses, different offenses. He's teaching them everything you need to go against somebody else who has all the same training and ability. Which makes it interesting, because now it's more of science to it, right? There was no science of the Brawl for All. It was just a couple of, galoots going at it and throwing haymakers and it was just ugly. It was
Right.
just-
I really thought I had high hopes for it. I really did. And then when it ended up being kind of bad, it really sucked. But I felt Bart Gunn should have gotten a push after that. I felt it made a name for him. They should have given him a push. I would have even, if they didn't want him to win the heavyweight championship or the world title or whatever, why not create a tough man, type of trophy?
So if you watch that documentary, again, they all assumed Dr. Death was going to win.
Right.
And Vince Russo literally says he created it for no other reason than he wanted somebody to knock out JBL. Because he didn't like him. He thought he was a loudmouth. JBL said, there's nobody here I couldn't beat. It was only created for someone to knock out JBL, which happened. But after that, Russo didn't care what happened. After Dr. Death was out, he didn't care what was going to happen. So really, it just became like, well, now what do we do?
Right.
So, yeah, it was all around bad.
How much time we got left,
I have an application.
I noticed that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So,
Because it's the future.
well, we got about a minute and a half left. What do you think? One more question?
We can, I think we could probably do one more.
Hopefully it's an easy one to
Oh,
answer.
yeah. Well, this is really easy. This is from Rose Kalezar from London, England. London.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Oh, wait, that's
Hello, mate.
Australian,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Hello. Please, sir, could I have some more?
All my friends from England call everybody cunt, man. What you cunt?
It's pronounced
I don't think I'm allowed to do that
No,
one.
it's pronounced cunt.
Cunt.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're filthy.
They have
There's a
fantastic
stampede
breakfast
going
there.
on up there.
Yeah. Well, there's 200 kids.
Right.
All right. So anyway, what is your most favorite RCW match you weren't in?
Yours?
Which one?
What's your favorite RCW match?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah.
It could have been mine. My matches were terrible. Honestly, I don't love the outcome, but I really enjoyed your match against Rogue.
Yeah, that was a good match.
That was a great match.
I just wish I would have had a different outcome on that.
The outcome was terrible.
Both the RCW matches I wrestled them in were great. That were in the big shows.
Yeah.
The TV ones weren't so good. Yeah. Get rid of that stampede. Tell them to shut up, man.
Stop!
And then I think it's time to go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my favorite one would probably have to be. Gosh, I just don't like any match that doesn't have me in
7
it.
seconds to figure it out.
Okay, I think.
The answer is no matches that you weren't in. There's no
Right,
such
there's no
answer.
such
Fair
thing.
enough.
If I wasn't in it, it doesn't matter. You first spike. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go.
I won, so that was good.
There you go.
I like that.
All right. So for Frankie Andolini, I'm your role model, Ric Lieb. Go ahead and join us again next week for another edition of RCW Spotlight. Hey guys, it's your role model, Ric Lieb. I want to thank you for watching the show. If you could do me a favor, go ahead and hit subscribe right down there, and it would help us a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks.